So one of the most common questions I get, and probably one of the most frustrating things for YouTubers, is when is your channel going to be monetized? If you've been sitting in queue, then stick around because that's what we're going to talk about.
YouTube Simplified.
Hey, and with the recent information we heard about YouTube notifications, make sure you click the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you get as many notifications as possible and are aware when new content is uploaded. Hi, and welcome to Creator Fundamentals. My name is Dan Courier, and it is my mission to simplify YouTube so you and I can grow together. So there's been a lot of frustration recently, a lot of people who met the requirements of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours and submitted their request to be reviewed, only to be sitting in queue now. For many, it's been months. Others have gotten frustrated after a week or so has passed. So I wanted to talk to you about this particular topic and what YouTube has been saying about it to see if we can figure out exactly when we might see our channels become monetized. Alright, so just a quick recap about how this process is going to work. So the first step obviously is meeting the requirements of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Once you do that, you need to go through the steps of requesting for your channel to actually be reviewed. I did a video not too long ago that talked about going through that process ahead of time. If you haven't seen that, I'll throw a link in the description up there. You can check that out. You can do that even if you are already past the requirements, just to get that review process started. Or started in theory. What we've seen is a lot of people just piling up and not a lot of people getting monetized. So this is a great question that I have. If you are somebody who did not meet the deadline by February 20th, but have since been monetized, definitely leave a comment below and let us know how long it took for you. I'd love to hear about it, and I'm sure everybody else would too. So after you've met the requirements of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, and you've submitted that request, basically somebody has to review your account. Now, what we've learned is that these are actually going to be manual reviews by someone who works at YouTube, and they have to deem that your content is appropriate to YouTube. So there is no guarantee that your channel is going to get monetized if you've made those numbers with content that may be deemed as not ad friendly. So you definitely want to make sure that you're focused on the right type of content that appeals to an audience that YouTube will continue to monetize. But after then, we're basically at the mercy of YouTube and how long it's going to take them to actually review these channels and qualify your channel for the YouTube Partner Program, which ultimately qualifies you for the monetization. So when this all started, there were people as far back as October, those who had met the 10,000 view requirement, and then were ultimately told that they had to meet these new requirements. So if you've been waiting since the 10,000 views and you haven't actually met the new requirements, you are actually going to have to get to the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. It's not something that they grandfathered in for those of you who have met the 10,000 view requirement. Unfortunately, you are going to have to hit that new threshold before you can begin the review process. But if you have actually met those requirements, let's take a look at some of the things YouTube has been telling us in terms of when they might actually catch up with this backlog.
All right, so let's take a look at what we're dealing with. This is a response from the Team YouTube Twitter account in reference to someone requesting to know when their channel might be monetized. Here we see, due to the high volume, applications are still pending. The team hopes to review all open applications by the end of April. Okay, this is common. This is something that we've heard since probably March or February even, and that had been kind of the line for a while. Well, looking at some of the other responses, here we have the same team with the response that we hope to review all of them in the coming months. Not quite the same as by the end of April, and I'm curious exactly how much progress they're actually making, because I would have expected by the end of April would have accounted for everybody who was backlogged prior to February 20th, and obviously they get new channels that qualify all the time. So looking at one more response from Team YouTube, we see that they say, due to the high volume of requests, applications for the YouTube Partner Program are still pending. There's currently no specific timeline to share. Now, I would like to tell you that these were gathered over the course of the last few weeks and months, but all three of these responses represent feedback from Team YouTube today, April 15th. So all three of these have been provided as responses to questions within the same day. So it's kind of difficult to nail down exactly what the reality is when the responses coming from Team YouTube are inconsistent at best.
All right, so as you can see, YouTube's kind of been a little bit all over the place on this. We got some responses from @TeamYouTube on Twitter saying that they hope to get done by the end of April. That's a line that we've been hearing since before April. There's others on there that simply say the next couple months, and there's even some responses that say they don't have a time frame. So it's a little bit frustrating. I know how hard everybody worked to get to the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. But the big question is, what can you do between now and when they actually review your account and determine whether or not you will receive entry into the YouTube Partner Program? Now, I know there's going to be people who want some magical answer, this secret formula, this special trick to get your channel monetized quickly. But unfortunately, we are at the mercy of YouTube and whatever process they have in the works behind the scenes. That's why it's super important. I really want to hear from anybody who has been monetized. That's going to kind of give us a benchmark to see how long it took them, and maybe we can kind of extrapolate on that and see how long it takes them to monetize other channels. The best advice I have for you, if you are waiting to be monetized, is to just keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, we know it's a long-term process, whether it takes them 2 months or 3 months or Lord help us, 6 months to get caught up on these. The important thing to realize is we're not in it for 6 months. We're not in it for a year. This is a long-term process where we want to make a successful channel that will pay us back tenfold in the coming years. So it's really important that you don't let your channel sit idle while you're waiting for this to happen. It's super important to stay consistent, stay on your schedule, keep improving on your content, and over time, your channel will grow and get better and stronger. And then when you do finally get monetized, it's going to be that much more powerful in terms of how your channel gets monetized, whether advertisers are interested in getting their content on your channel, which is ultimately going to raise the amount of money that you can make. And the bigger that your audience is, the more money you're going to make. So super important to stick on your plan. Don't let this sidetrack you, and eventually you will get monetized, and we'll see exactly what it looks like from there in terms of whether this smaller group of monetized channels leads us to better monetization and maybe some higher dollar amounts down the road. And hey, this video is sponsored by TUBEBUDDY. TUBEBUDDY is the #1 browser plugin for managing and growing your YouTube channel. It's available to download for free, and there's a link in the description below. I hope you found this video helpful. If you would like to receive notifications on future videos that help simplify YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel and you've clicked that bell notification icon so you don't miss a thing. That's all the time we have for today. My name is Dan Kjpargeter, and you're watching Creator Fundamentals.